Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's great to be able to, at least get 4/5 of the legendary group Riff. I'm out here in England. It's the fortunate thing for us is it's 10:30 at night, so our clocks don't go
Oh,
back
wow.
spring forward until midnight tonight. So if not, I would have to wait until around 11 o'clock, 11:30 tonight. But it's really great to see you guys. This is my second time interviewing Nitty, but it's great to really have the rest of you guys on board. The past 12 months has really been something when it comes to a revival of and an affection for 90s music. Cassidy's Passed the Mic and the Versus battle, especially Teddy and Babyface, really got everyone saying, yeah, we actually miss that era. And out of all of that, we've been doing these interviews, and especially with the 90s artists, and people from all over the world are just loving the backstories and looking forward to when things settle down that they can come back and see you guys on tour. But it would be great just to get, because I know that 3 out of the 5 of you were back in the day, back with the movie and everything. The 2 new members have joined in, and the group has sort of taken a different approach going forward. So it might be good to introduce yourselves and names and everything, and then we can just go from there.
All right. Well, I'm Michael Best, aka Nitty Green. Thanks for having me, man. This is a pleasure sitting down with you. Speaking once again, I was excited about it. So, and I'm so happy to have my fellas with me on this time, and I think we're gonna have a ball. We definitely gonna have a ball. Go ahead.
This is Anthony Fuller, aka Big Chill, one of the founders of the group, the RIFF, the Men of Vizion boys.
Definitely, thanks, Anthony.
Okay.
And I am Stephen E. Capers Jr., aka Smooth B, the mayor, one of the originals in the building.
Okay.
Last but not least, I'm Kenny Wilkins. I'm the newest, or one of the newest members in the group.
Okay.
I don't have no AKA. I guess my AKA will be K. Everybody call me K. So that's what it is.
I can start with you then, Kenny. How did
Give us time. We'll have one for you.
in time. But I can start with you, Kenny, being one of the new members of the group. And then we also have to Torino. He's the one that's not around today, but I'm sure we'll get to meet up with him later. But Kenny, starting with you, being one of the new members of the group, how did you sort of get connect with them, and were you familiar with the group prior to joining?
Well, yeah, I'm familiar with them because I'm formerly I used to live in Paterson. Everybody here, we grew up. We kind of grew up together. I knew them for a long time. We did a lot of gospel music together, the gospel singing together on the quartet circuit in that area. So I just got a call from Mike asking me if I was interested in it. I said, at this point, this day and age, anything that you kind of had, in your spirit to do, is kind of good to kind of go for it and just see what happens. I was never afraid, but I just wasn't that cat at that moment. So now it's like, let's do it, so here I am.
Yeah. It's interesting because when I interviewed Eric Williams from Blackstreet, I was amazed to find out how much talent came from Paterson, or came from the New Jersey area, from Big Bub and all you guys. And it just amazes me how the small circle, because we always hear about New York and Harlem, but all of a sudden there was an explosion coming from you guys and stuff.
Yeah, I was born in Inglewood. That's
Okay.
where I was born. Inglewood with Big Bob and Eric Williams. Everybody. I mean, I don't know anybody who don't know those guys. Those are very, very legendary cats. So.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when we think about Rift, a group that sort of took over from you guys in a sense was, like, say, As Yet, that sense of being able to harmonize but also showcase dance steps. So it was almost a cross between the Temptations and Troop. When Riff first came out, unfortunately, by the time when the 90s exploded with the bands, and Riff didn't progress as the rest. But it's great to find out that you guys can still, after all this time, still have kept this bond together. I know that probably about a couple of, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, you guys were coming out. But what has brought this sort of reincarnation at this time, 2021, after all this sort of time apart?
Chill.
You want? Yeah, I take it. Okay. Well, basically, we've never stopped doing music. We just took a different avenue in terms of ministry, gospel. So we wanted to basically try something that we were brought up on, and we actually struck a deal over at Sony Records, our gospel group. But for whatever reason, something happened, because of something negative. One of the guys, not that it was done intentionally, but I guess some people, they judge you, for whatever reason, they judge you the wrong way, and sometimes it sort of like hurts you, especially if it's not what they think in terms of being positive. So we that deal sort of fell through. But in the meanwhile, we never stopped. We pursued the gospel for a couple of years, and we basically gathered, our thoughts, while being away from the R&B, should I say, field. But then we decided, it was time to strike back up and basically do what we've, always, reluctant to do, and that was bring back the Riff, the Riff group. And myself, along with my brother Dwayne at the time, Stephen and Mike, we went ahead and we pursued, and we did it for like I want to say for about 2 years among the 4, because at that time Kenny, who was alive, rest in peace, my brother, at that time when he was alive, he was still basically doing his own thing. So it so happens that us 4, we were still rocking out, but we felt, Riff has always been a group of 5. And we still thought it was something missing from the Riff sound. So we decided to add in another brother, a good friend of ours, named Delvis Damon. And we did that for about 3 years. And then Dwayne, he decided that he wanted to relocate in terms of move into a different state. So which was California. In Jersey and California is like East Coast, West Coast. That's like a 6-hour difference in terms of flight wise. Yeah. So, and then he said, you know what, while I'm out here, I might as well rock out with my brother Shy. So he started singing with Shy, which left Riff down to 3 at that time. So we decided to pick up, no, actually it was 4, my bad. So we decided to pick up another guy. His name was Andre Lamar, and we became the 5-member group again. So as far as taking a break from the music, we did it. And I don't know if, when you had the interview with Michael, Nnamdi, I don't know if he broke it down to you, but because of music changing, and us trying to get in where we could fit in, basically Jodeci, Boys the Men, and their style of how they was trying to do music or portray in music at that time. We were trying to do basically what they was doing, because they were selling records, and not that we weren't selling records, we was doing records too as well. We was doing top 10 hits. We had number 2, we had a lot of top 10 songs on the charts that did very, very well for us. But to make a long story short, it so happens that sometimes as young kids, you get caught up with the times, and then you get caught up to where you begin to make decisions, and make decisions being good or bad for yourself. And that's what basically happened to us. I think it wasn't that we made a bad choice. It's just that we decided that we wanted to do something different. And that's why the success didn't take off like how it did for High Five, Jodeci, Boys to Men, for Riff. And, a lot of people, they misunderstand the situation because of not hearing our story. But we got a very big story that's soon to come that we're going to be telling about the whole life of Riff and the things that we've experienced during the whole 30-year run in the music game. So you can look forward to that, to where you can basically come inside of our world and see what happened on the positive end and on the negative end, basically, and that'll speak for itself.
I think one of the things that we've been able to reflect on a lot of the interviews I've had with a lot of the acts from the 90s is that it's quite easy to think that decisions are made and stuff, but we've realized that you're up against a lot when it comes to record labels and managers. Correct. And it isn't like the NBA where if you're LeBron James, they give you a guaranteed salary, and is everyone making sure that you're good enough, you're paid and doing your job day in and day out. Within the music industry, it's as if you've got the talent, but everyone's looking how to get a piece of the money when you're not watching and stuff. So we can get and understand that, especially, when I spoke to Michael, he told us about the situation with SBC, is it SBC,
SBK.
Yeah, the SBK and stuff. And at the time, it was like, wow, you guys had an opportunity to be as big as Boyz II Men and stuff. David Foster coming in to do the record, but it's I guess hindsight's always 2020. But and it'd be great for you guys to be able to do a documentary to share and discuss that. But when you look at the sort of first album that you did, because that's the one that really took off, especially had the top 10 hits, and it was, but it showcased a lot more choreography, dancing and stuff.
Correct.
At this stage of your careers, I can imagine if a troupe were coming back out, we'd be wondering if they're able to continue doing the same routines, as well as New Edition, because they seem to have continued. How are you guys able to sort of keep up with the choreography that really defined you guys in those early days?
Smooth.
Rock that.
Well, we just we tone it down a little bit. We still make it fun and exciting, but you got to tone it down. I mean, you figure like 30, like when we first came out, Cass was doing splits, jumping in the air, doing flips and everything. So, So, we just had to tone it down. We had that guy age.
This current incarnation of Riff, how long has it been that the five of you have said this is us now?
Well, this group has actually been together. Me, Anthony, and Steven, we never stopped. But it's been a year since we actually got on the stage together and performed because of the pandemic.
Yeah.
So pulling in the two new members, Kenny and Terenio, we've had, I want to say, one boot camp rehearsal so far. You know what I mean? And we're pretty much getting ready to go in a different direction as far as our rehearsal time, because we want to be ready this fall. I want to say this fall, like we're taking little shows right now, but the fall, it looks like we're going to be really, really busy. So, and our thing is because we had those top 10 hits, we had the movie, people definitely knows who we are. You know what I mean? when we strike up into those 90 songs, they may remember those songs because again, they were top 10 hits the other day. Oh yeah, I remember the song. They sing that. So it's like, you know, they're mainly looking for those guys that, you know, that sing that school song, right? But then when we strike those other songs up, they're gonna know those records. But we thrive off of flatlining the stage, I like to call it, which means killing the stage. So we put everything we have into our show so that our audience will not forget that we were there.
No, that's good.
So I've been to a lot of the 90s shows. You see a lot of the same people on the same shows. And people make their rounds and they go see those shows. They definitely get out there to see them, but they singing the same thing. So what's going to make Riff a little different? I probably shouldn't be talking like this because I don't want people to get the same idea that I'm getting. But we're trying to make sure that our show stand up against those hits, that those bona fide hits that those cats have. And they're not singing them very well. Not that people really care. As long as you sing the hits, they singing them with you. They don't even know they off key or their vocals aren't the same way. I could say that the crew that we have right now, you know, is definitely, we're going to be able to stand up and be one of those groups, man, that people remember when they come to a show. I promise you that. 100,000 degrees. I just had coffee. I'm not gonna get hyped. I'm not gonna get hyped.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I promise you, our job is to make people, especially those first 3 rows, they're getting the business.
Yeah.
Because once they see those first 3 rows jumping and going, the arena is going crazy. So there you go. We with it.
The question I have, or maybe Kenny, you can answer this, is that what's the difference between having the 4 as opposed to 5? Because you back in those, and I think back in the 90s, there was a move to, I think, a quartet. So there's about 4, maybe you get a 3, between 3 and 4. But as Anthony sort of alluded, that you needed to have 5. Does it sound-wise, is it much different having 5 people singing than 4?
Yeah, it's very, very much different. The background vocals, for one, it's kind of gives you a more fuller and thicker sound. It kind of makes us sound just like the record. I mean, the record, when you hear the record is really, really thick in its background vocals. Having that 5th member kind of makes the leader focus on their lead and the background to focus strictly on their background. Just kind of makes it a little easier. The leader can go for broke and just have a great time leading that particular song, and the background can focus on backing that leader up and making that thing really, really come to life. So yeah, it makes a huge difference.
And I do wonder going forward, is that one of the things that I couldn't understand a long time was a group like SWV. You had Coco singing and Lily and Taj doing background. I interviewed recently Brian Alexander Morgan. He really explained the power of the background vocalist,
Yes.
and as opposed to the lead, which really opened my eyes. But within your current group now, are you guys going to mix it around, or do you have 1 or 2 people who are going to be focused on the lead and the rest really supporting with the strong background?
Everybody in our group can rip. Every single person in our group can get busy. As Mike would say, get busy. We can get busy. So anybody at any given moment can grab that microphone and get down. It's just not a problem for us. Yeah.
But the songs that you're singing, I think some of the older ones, and then I'm sure you're going to be coming up with some new ones.
Yeah.
Would you just would it rotate between the 5 of you as to who is singing one lead on the whole song, or would you just have 3 different people or 4 different people singing verses on the song throughout?
It'll stay true to what the original song was. We'll stay true to it. But if that person just maybe have a horse or something, whatever the case, the show must go on. We got to keep moving, and please don't get it twisted. So if Mike can't do his lead, Chill can do it. Chill can't do it, I can do it. I can't do it. So it's kind of going across the board. You know what I'm saying? I don't think nobody could do Smooth because Smooth was way in the bottom doing his baritone thing. Please. So can't nobody rock that out. But even Smooth can get up there and rock something.
I'm the only person that can handle that bass.
Who got that bass on lock?
See,
okay. And that's when he's dreaming.
See, the thing is about Riff, I think the one thing that we never established in our group, because we had so much talent in one band coming out, we never established like a lead singer, you know, like a one, like the main lead singer. We never established that from the first album to the second album because it was so much going on at the time. And I think that's what made us different, because any one of us could step out at any time, take the mic and claim the victory. So I think right now, we pretty much do a lot of songs where we split vocals, where like you'll see me come out and I hand it off to Kenny, and then you'll see Chill come, you'll see Buzz come out, Steven come out to Renio. Like, so we kind of switch off on the leads to make it easier, and the crowd get to see what every man does. And we are gonna have some songs where like one person would lead the song and the rest will follow. So it's gonna be a variety of things that we're trying to put out there as far as the new Riff sound.
I mean, one of my strange favorite groups was Backstreet Boys. I mean, there were 5, but it didn't seem they had, everyone had their parts, and Brian was the first sort of whiny kind of, okay, I'm coming at the back with sort of power vocal stuff. But it did set a balance where we knew who'd start, who'd be in the middle, and who'd sort of finish. New music wise, industry has shifted. You know, it's those gone are the days when you Warner Brothers comes and gives you $500,000 to go record and stuff. Things have changed, apart from the fact that promotion is different. What should we expect when it comes to new music? Not just if we're getting any, but also the direction of the music. And the reason I say this is because you've got your hardcore sort of 90s R&B fans, mid 40s to 50s year olds who still hold dear to their 90s stuff. Don't necessarily enjoy the sort of trap music that's coming out that seems to be like, no, this is alienating us, and so hence they just go back to the old. But I'm just wondering how you balance, because you still might need to try and get a younger audience with the music, but how do you then try and cater to the audience who've kind of grown up and would be at those revival shows with new stuff?
Well, let me take some of it, and then the rest of the fellas can answer. Listening to the radio, like they are paid to play who they're programmed. Like it's like they have a list of people that they have to stay. What's the word I'm looking for? They have to play these people, because this is a big club. You have to understand this. The music game is a big club. Like, so they have this set list, these people that they need to play now. The game has changed totally. So I think the only thing we have to stand on is that we gotta be true to who we are. You know what I mean? Regardless of the fact. Yeah, listen to what's going on. I'm not saying not turn, and not all of the music that's out there now is bad. But if we want to fit in to what's going on right now, we have to pay attention to it and wish for the best. See, they'll look at it like, well, you guys are too old now, blah, blah, blah. And I hate that, because to me, it seems like they only say the Black artists are old.
Mm.
They don't say that about I'm not racist, man. You know what I mean? I'm just saying I got white family. I'm just letting you know they're not saying that about the white artists, man. They're not saying the Backstreet Boys or New Kids on the Block come out with an album. They ain't saying they old. It's I love the music, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think what Riff has to do is just stay true to what Riff does. You know, get a good producer that understands like what's going on today, but still keep what we do, which is the 5-part harmony, the 5-part soul with a little bit of yesterday and a lot of today. And if we can do that, I believe that we will cut through and people will understand that although music has changed and we're touching on it a little bit, the realness is going to remain. It's going to come out and you will understand and remember it as well, because it's going to be different. And at the same time, we're still going to keep what we like to do so that we can please our family that's been supporting us all these years. Yeah, we definitely want to make new fans. Definitely. We definitely want to go into those arenas where they're performing and flatline the building. We want them to love us. But at the same time, we're going to give them something that they may not have seen yet, especially when it comes down to the drop of the music and we just can stand there and rock. And it's just like, whoa, okay. And that's, you know, fellas, if I'm wrong, y'all tell me I'm wrong. I'm just speaking what I am, but you know, the way I feel about it.
Yeah, I mean, Anthony, I did see a doc on YouTube where you guys were in the studio trying to come up with some new music or so. And this was, you know, kind of revisited back to school and you were coming up with some new music. What happened to that sort of music you put together? Have you just abandoned that and you're going to move forward and new stuff, or what's?
Yeah, it's trash. Like all of that music you'll hear, like maybe on SoundCloud or something, we leak it out there, or like if you come to a Riff show, we might be selling it in the back of the arena. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like we might package it up and be like, yo, here's some unreleased. Give me $10 for it. Take us home with you. Put it in your CD player. You know what I mean? Listen, it's a big game. You know what I mean? You have to know how to navigate through this game, man. It's serious out here, man. We ain't getting played the way we used to get played on the radio. So you have to figure out how to move. So all that music that we had about, fellas, we had about 15, 20 songs. Oh yeah, you will hear those songs. You will get them if you come to a Riff show. We'll gladly give it to you.
We're still on national lockdown here in the UK and most of Europe, so it's a lot different in the States. But what is the plan over the next, you said in the fall, so have you guys got things booked up, or is it in the studio or rehearsing? What's the sort of calendar that you plan, timeline?
Anybody else?
Smoke beat, take that one, baby.
Well, we're going to be in the studio. We're going to try to get well, right now we have 2 songs out. One, a remake titled "You're the Inspiration" by Chicago, and then there's another single that's going to be premiered on a independent movie titled Pressure, and that song is titled Relax. So right there, you're gonna see 2 different sides of Riff right there. So while that's bumping, we're gonna be in the studio, you know, getting some heats together, and then we're gonna put them out there and like Nnamdi said, we're gonna flatline the place.
Yes, definitely. That's pretty much the blueprint for everybody. Like right now, it's just preparation. You know, we do have like little warm up shows that we're getting geared into doing right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm thinking more so by the fall, like by September. You know, we already got a commitment from a couple of promoters that they're gonna give us, you know what I mean, our minutes along with a lot of the other 90s groups that's out there right now. And we got to go out there and, like I said, flatline the building, man. And that's what we're gearing up. So we're in the studio recording. We actually got to do 2 albums. We got to do an original album and we're doing a remake album. At the same time, we're just going to continue putting content out that people can see. We're going to do music videos. We're going to get behind the scenes. Like, you're going to see a lot of visuals with us. Like the preparation for our stage show. Like I said, we got a few warm-up shows that we're gonna be doing, documenting, you know what I mean? We're pretty much gonna get into, like, we might do a documentary video, like of the making of this group and where we are today. So there's a lot of things that we're discussing with management and with our full-blown team that we want to make happen. And in a very short time, like, we're trying to do it now, because when the fall comes, we're hoping to be on the road tearing it down. So it's a lot going on right now. So we'll see, man. We'll see how it goes.
You mentioned doing a remake album. What remake of what? What type of what songs would be on that? What are you looking at? Covering other groups and stuff? Or
yeah, definitely. We're looking to do, I mean, right now it's going to be all the hits. So whatever we decide to do, whether that be pop or R&B, they're all hit songs already. You understand what I'm saying? They're hit songs. It's just our interpretation of these records. We're not going to take from them and mess them up. Trust me, we're going to do them justice. So it's just a gumbo full of hit records, freshly done by them boys that you know. It's not somebody that you don't know. You know who these guys are, okay? You know who they are. And we just going to take them where they need to go. Don't get me hyped. Don't get me hyped, yo. I'm trying to calm down.
So my thing as a fan would be, why would I be able to get a remake of the songs from your first album, the ones you released, even the ones you released from your second album, even the actual Lean on Me, a version of that? I mean, I would assume as fans would like to, Judy's Got a Boyfriend in a different way, maybe in a way that you probably would be a better riff way. My Heart, that having it redone 2021, but
My Heart is failing me, yeah.
Yeah,
serious,
so
every time my heart
because
beats.
that's every time my heart. So those tracks, actually redoing them, because it then connects the old with the new. As I thought that's the remake you guys were to do, like, no, because it would, because then it would give those old songs a new version of it, but it still connects us back to you guys.
Man, that's deep. We never thought of that, but that's heavy.
It's a great idea.
Okay, yeah, I mean, because I would love that, definitely, especially Lean on Me. So it connects. So that would be, your own version of Bill Withers' Lean on Me connects us with the movie and says, okay, these are the guys. Either your opening song each night, the songs that, the pop songs, which we knew you guys for. You're not doing the routines anymore, but you're still singing them in a riff way this year. This day, where you guys are now. Even Judy's Got it, because people say, yeah, I remember that track, but it will be in a different manner as well. But yeah, but that would be great to be able to see.
So what's your favorite? What's your favorite one? What's your favorite riff song?
Okay, so before Kenny, you asked me what was my favorite. So strangely enough, My Heart is Failing Me it would, you know, because it was a nice sort of clean cut track, especially the routines. You know, you had the MC Hammer, well, they had the MC Hammer stuff, but it was a really powerful track. I did, you know, I was a big Teddy Riley fan, and still am, and so, you know, when him and Mucho did Judy's Got a Boyfriend, it was okay. The problem was that when Rift were first around with their first album, they were in a different lane. So can you imagine Boyz II Men doing some sort of Jodeci stuff? You know, it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
They were in different lanes, and they were very defined for their songs and the image they portrayed. And I think when they came up with a second album, that sort of it sort of took you guys away from what made them strong, and sort of crowded you in the market with everyone else, and so you weren't as distinct. They weren't as distinct. So I think going back to that first album and doing some of those sort of tracks that you did in the first album, redoing them now, kind of connects us with them. But also, if you had a chance to do, because I know Michael was saying that there was stuff that you guys were able to write on the second album, and remakes were really big, but you didn't get a chance to remake a lot of the tracks. So maybe it's like, okay, how do we've got the lyrics, we've got the stuff, how do we try and update the songs and reinterpret them in a way that we probably think separates us, you know, maybe a cappella version of some of these songs, or just with a piano, but the songs are already there. And so we kind of remember the old, bringing with the new, and then sort of coming up with some of the newer albums and stuff.
You got my wheels turning. Wheels turning. I'm turning. So.
Yeah. Well, Mike is not here, but I mean, while he was still waiting for him to join in, yeah. I mean, but what are the thoughts though?
Well,
with some of the, have you started looking at new music?
Well, we're always. Let me just try to get.
Hello?
Can you guys hear me?
We got you.
Okay, yeah. So I was wondering if you guys started working on it with the new. Were you just thinking of other new things? Maybe someone can call Michael to see if he's still around. But as we talk, but music-wise, I don't know if I just threw some. I was speaking rubbish, or did it seem like, okay, might not be a bad idea?
Well, we were thinking about, you know, coming out and redoing some of the old stuff, like, well, some of the original stuff, such as My Heart Is Failing Me, Every Time My Heart Beats, maybe Baby Is Yours, and maybe updating Temporary Insanity as well, because that was one of my favorites. But like Chill was about to say, we're always listening or looking for new music. But at the same time, we did, it did at one point land on the table of doing that. And we was probably looking for some type of confirmation. And by us doing this interview and you saying what you said, you know, now it's going to make us revisit, because we was looking for confirmation, and maybe you were that confirmation.
Okay. Yeah, you know, it's, and I know when I interviewed Michael, you spoke about, there's a track that David Foster did for you guys when you were looking to do a third album. Do you still have a copy of that where you guys recorded to say, okay, because we never got to hear that record, you know, and David Foster is probably one of the top 3 producers from the 90s and stuff. Did you guys still have that, or do you?
You know what? I gotta go over by my old manager's house, Skip Van Rensselaer, and go through his tapes. He might have a copy of it, man, but the song was incredible. Incredible. I'm telling you, man, it was like an audition, because he didn't know us. You know, he probably knew of us, but, you know, the higher ups went to have the conversation with him. And they brought us down to the studio to record the song, and he wanted to do the whole album. So, you know, we went in, we recorded the song with him, and that song blew them away. The company was like, yes, let's do it. And we ended up not going through with it. But I'm gonna find the song, man. And if I could find it, I'll definitely send you a copy of it so that you can check it out.
Yeah, but as I said, that's almost like you know, not using, maybe not even using that old one, but actually seeing if you can redo it in a modern riff style with the five of you now and releasing it, because it's, as I said, sometimes you don't want to work too hard. You can, but strategically, and your fans are like, you know, still nostalgic for the old stuff, but in a new overt way. You know, you're not just giving them, and you still get to own the masters of your own stuff, because you're redoing them, so that you're recording and owning them. So when you do send them out, you know, then it's easier to, on top of that, put some of the stuff that you guys wrote and stuff. After you guys, the first group broke up in the early 90s, which group did you think sort of continued what you guys did? Were you looking and said, man, they're doing just what we were doing, and seemed to be successful with it?
Anybody can take that one, because I have my own, you know, Buzz, Chill. Who did y'all see? Who did y'all see like come in and take pretty much our blueprint and was winning with it? Go ahead.
Me personally, Boys II Men.
Boys II Men came out the same time we did, so they don't count.
No, but what I'm saying is that, watch this. What I'm saying is that they transitioned from R&B to pop.
Yeah.
They was an R&B group like Jodeci, even though they had the Please Don't Go Away From Me and all them songs. How Do I Say Goodbye? But remember, they was a Motown Philly R&B dance. It was like R&B hip hop. But the I'll Make Love to You and the Bending Knees and the End of the Road was where we were at for the most part, before doing the second album. So we had that pop feel, even in terms of what the songs that Foster was about to do, Dennis Lambert, and the records that they had, and even the extra songs that we were hearing, but we wasn't trying to hear over at EMI SBK Records. So I think we stepped out of the lane that we were in, and we went into a whole different lane to try to bowl, and we wasn't knocking down no pins at all. Technically, if you think about it, and not that we made, like, you know, like I said before earlier, we young, you know, so we wanted to try something different. We wanted to spark up, not knowing that we already had to spark up, but we wanted to spark up the heat a little bit more broader or quicker, like how they were. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't even about the songs. It was more so about the girls and the fans, like how they were just taken to them so quick. But we still had a lot of fans, like, but our fan was like more so Chinese, African, Caucasian. We had a variety of a lot of fans. Jodeci, they had a lot of urban fans, black girls, and that's where we were from. We were from the hood for the most part. So it was like, yo, we're a pop group. We putting out them top 10 pop hits. But to us, it wasn't making sense, because at that time, WBLS wasn't playing My Heart Is Failing Me, or wasn't playing Every Time My Heart Beat. Everywhere else around the country, they were playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The songs were being played everywhere else around the corner, except for our own hometown. And that kind of discouraged us to say, you know what? Let's go ahead and do a urban record, and let's try to make it work. Not knowing we were walking away right from success. What I mean by success, like the high level of where Boys II Men were able to gravitate and grab them Grammy Awards. We was unable to do it. And I think the situation that was already defined for us, we basically walked away from it, and you know what? Things happen, you know what I'm saying? And it's a learning experience because the opportunity, how we know it was a learning experience, because the opportunity came again. And that's when we walked away from our deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which was a hurtful feeling. And like I said, it was a bad choice in our, part. Not saying we did it intentionally, but we did it intentionally thinking that something good was gonna turn out good for us in our favor. But doing that basically blackballed us from the business, from the music game for many years. And by that time, when we decided that we wanted to get back into it, music didn't change. It was kind of hard because all these other groups then came out by that time. All for One, all these other groups came out, and it was kind of hard to come back and bat at home plate and hit a home run again.
Yeah, and it's interesting because, as I said, Jodeci were unique in their style. Dru Hill sort of came off the coat of that, but they did also try and veer in a different way. But Boys to Men might not have been big in the clubs, but they were big in their bank accounts because they were selling more records. And so you start watching bass In Sync and Backstreet Boys. They were making more money than Jodeci. And so that, but it's, as I said, at the time, it's quite hard. I think reflection is always great, but it also helps looking at where you guys are going to be this time around, because you might this makes a difference with the types of music you may put out now, to make sure that you stay in the lane that really defines you guys and separates you from, because if you're on the 90s tour, Dru Hill's going to have their stuff, and H-Town are going to have their stuff, and Silk's going to have their stuff. And you still need to make sure you stay in the lane that makes you guys one of the best, that there was, and there still is. But I mean, Smooth, what about yourself? Who did you think when you guys sort of departed that came out, sort of took your lane?
Well, I basically didn't see anybody that took our lane. There was a lot of good groups out there, but they still weren't doing what we were doing. I haven't seen no one do what we did back in the day. But again, that's just me. I didn't see it. It was just there. And to me personally, I don't think nobody took it and ran with it, especially as far as with the game plan.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Now that Chill put that out there like that, I didn't know that he was gonna do it like that. But there was a lot of groups that came out, because you got to understand, like 1991. See, we were the group that was known for singing that harmony in the bathroom.
Right.
Now, before us, there was Take Six. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody took from somebody.
Right.
Be honest with you, like everybody took from somebody. So we had our thing. We got lucky, man, with that movie. On our album, our first album, we didn't even put the school song on it. You understand what I'm saying? We were being geared in another direction because I guess the record company had some type of plan, and we had some success. Okay, boom. In the chart wise, and also in the movie soundtrack, Wave, they had us doing a lot of movie soundtracks. The Lean on Me soundtrack, the White Man Can't Jump, and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle soundtrack. They was working us many ways. But I saw groups come and do the acapellas like Boys and Men, Color Me Bad. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. I saw them do it. And you've seen a lot of other groups try it, but weren't succeeding about it. But Boys and Men and Color Me Bad Silk came out later. They was known for doing a little bit of acapella.
As yet,
As Yet is, to me, man, there's a lot I can say about As Yet, man. Those are my boys. Those are my boys. You know what I mean? Their formula, they found out, like they to me took it to another level. I can't really explain. Like, their formula is a little different because they had the Philly sound, but they also had the baby face overseeing that whole thing, and Take Six. They had all of the major players working with them to develop the sound that they had. And the guys that was in the group were very talented guys, man. So I don't, you know, we've seen a lot of them come out. I think what Cass is gonna get from Riff this time is a lot more. We're gonna go right down the middle, where it's even Steven, where like everybody can enjoy the music. See, we're much older now. We're much aware of what's going on. Back then, we was just going along, man. We had money in our pocket, man. We kids, man. Money and girls, man. We like, what is this? What, they screaming for me? You know what I mean? We didn't know. You know, we were just going. We were just going with it, doing what everybody wanted us to do.
yeah.
And then that peer pressure of Jodeci and Boys the Men clouded our minds, man. It was like, yo, which way should we go? Plus, you got the hood talking like, yo, y'all got to come back to the hood. So it affected some of us to the point where it's like, yo, man, we can't do the next album like this. We got to go in and do some black shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? We got to do some black shit, man. Let's go. And it clouded our minds when the record company, the higher ups already, yo, they literally gave us a pass, like, go ahead.
Yeah, that'll work out.
And they sat back and watched us because they loved us. They loved us. The record company loved us, bro. They loved us. You know what I mean? I want to say Charles Copman, Donald Rubin, Blosset Kitson, like Daniel Glass Note Records. They loved us. And they sat back and gave us a pass. They was like, go ahead, do it. But when we do this third album, I want to talk to y'all about something. You know what I mean? And they gave us the opportunity. They asked us, who you want to work with on this second album? Anybody you want. And that's when we went with people that was close to us. Yo, let's get Bernard Bell, man. Let's, you know what I mean? Let's try out this new producer, Troy Taylor. You know what I mean? Troy Taylor's produced Tyrese. He, you know what I mean? He was, you know, he was on everybody. He just did Today, you know, so we wanted to follow behind Today. We like, yo, who produced Today's second album? We want him. So we got Troy Taylor. All B-level producers. I'm going to just go ahead and say it like it is. We didn't go ahead, look, what we should have did was say, okay, give our whole budget to Teddy Riley. That's it. If we was going to go that way, we should have just gave the whole budget to Teddy and just had Teddy do the whole thing. He was frying the charts. Frying the charts, man. Grease. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
the record company gave us the pass, and then they stopped. They said, okay, look, stop all this. We can't do it no more. We can't see y'all go down that hole. We're going to stick y'all with David Foster, who is the biggest producer in the game.
Unbreak My Heart, in case you know anyone.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how it went, man. But yeah, a lot of groups came out and did things, man. And I thank them because they kept real music alive. You know what I mean? The As Yets, the Silk. You understand what I'm saying? As far as the harmonies, man, as far, you know, Boys the Men came and flatlined the game with that style, took it to the pop level. They are the kings as far as I'm concerned. You know what I mean? And, you know, it still leaves room for the real singers today to come through and continue to do the real singing, man. People still want to hear that. Yeah. We just got to figure out how to level it out to please everybody, because the game has changed tremendously. That's all I'm saying. I
mean, Kenny, you know, if you, from your point of view, what's your favorite track from, you know, from their first album or some of the soundtracks that they've done?
Okay. I want to go somewhere else before I answer that question.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
As a consumer at that time in the 90s, in the early 90s, music was wherever the industry put you.
Yes.
So in Riff's perspective, you know, they started in pop, right? Boyz II Men may have started in R&B, but they went to pop. But in my opinion, right, pop is probably the most marketed sort of genre of music, you know. Boyz II Men, then I'm sorry, Riff then goes to R&B or hip hop or whatever. That changed the perspective. You know, people don't really know them as being that sort of group. They know them, you know, people know Riff as being pop. So they may not understand, you know, that Riff could do it all. But that first introduction to it is going to be whatever people put them out there. I mean, the record company put them out there first as I was about to say gospel group, first as a pop group. So people aren't going to understand anything other than pop from Riff.
Yeah.
You know, as time transcended, I mean, music nowadays is pop, hop, hip hop, and so on and so forth, all kind of jumbled into one. It's probably a little easier now than it was back then. Mm-hmm. To kind of get, you know, your feeling on a record. You know, Riff at the beginning in singing in the bathroom at Eastside High School, they wasn't pop. Right. They were music. They probably didn't care nothing about a genre or hip hop, or they wanted to sing music. So I think we have to get back to the essence of music. So I really don't like to be labeled as a pop artist, R&B or whatever. I just want to be labeled as a musician, as a singer, as a person that sings music. As an artist. I'm an artist. I sing pop. I like pop. I like R&B. I like hip hop. I like gospel. I like praise and worship music. You know, all of these things is what makes us as individuals. You know, Riff sings all of that. So in our music, in our presentation, you're going to get all of that kind of combined into one, right? Yeah. So let me go to the original question. So I felt I had to kind of make a point, because I think, you know, once we come out, or once any artists come out, they kind of label you as being whatever you came out first. Yeah. And they don't think, you know, that an artist wants to kind of do some other things. Of course, it has to be tasteful. But when you have engines behind you and people making, you know, decisions for you, you know, they're going to steer you in the direction that they want to go, not necessarily the way you want to go. Yeah. So Riff, My Heart Is Failing Me is a good song that I enjoy from Riff singing. Is the Baby It's Yours is one on the second record. Yeah. And they got some new material that, I mean, I like all music. I'm not just, you know, genre of point. I'm not going to go to a specific genre. I like music, period. So again, he was talking about the A and B list of producers. Music is music, you know. I just like, it just has to be good. It has to be good. It has to feel good. It has to taste good. And when you hear that first track, it's got to be something that kind of makes you kind of be in your car, banging it out and enjoying it. Like now going forward, Riff is going to be really, really doing stuff. It's going to be pop, but I'll say also it's going to be R&B. It's going to be a little gospel. It's going to be, and all that's going to be mixed up with great background singing, great lead singing, great production, and you're just going to hear it. I understand with the trap. I get the trap. That's today's music. And I can't talk bad about it because I enjoy some of it. Some of it is questionable, I would say. But that's what they're feeling. So I can't say that, you know, is garbage. You know, to me it might be, but to them, that's what they're feeling. It's kind of similar to Riff saying, well, you know, I want to do R&B. I can't do this pop no more. It's similar to that, but they make a choice. I don't think Riff, you know, intentionally went out to disrespect any female. Nowadays, you got that, and it seems like it's promoted. It seems like that's what they want.
Yeah.
Promote that more than they do love. Riff that's going to promote love and taking care of your lady. We want to sing to the ladies. You know what I mean? That's where it's at for us. So I'm sorry, that's why I had to go.
That is good. You know, there's one track, and I wonder, Smooth, if you can answer this. If you were to try, Blackstreet has recently just come out with a sort of a house version of No Diggity with Stephen Lucas. Now, I know that that's not the core of their new album, but that's sort of a way of connecting with new fans, but just almost getting their buzz out there. A song like White Man Can't Jump, could you see yourself redoing that type of track and, you know, in a 2021 sort of version, you know, with some, you know, house DJs or so? Or would that be a song that you're like, you know, we've moved on?
No, I mean, I could see that. I mean, like Kenny said, it just has to be tasteful. It's like when you hear that first 808 kick in, like,
Right.
I mean, like, what else is going to come after that? I mean, me personally, if you ask me, I put a club beat behind My Heart Is Felony.
Good.
I mean, because the song is you know, he's talking about his heart is failing me and he's hurt. But then if you put that club beat behind it, it'll almost sound like an oxymoron. His heart is failing me, but everybody's like, oh, his heart is failing him. Oh,
Okay.
I mean, that I would do that. But yes, I would see us doing White Man Can't Jump with a club beat. But like Kenny said, it has to be done right and correct.
Yeah.
So that way when they hear it, they be like, all right, and they just be banging their head to it. I can definitely see it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, guys, I mean, I definitely, you know, as I said, it's, you know, you guys had a number of, you know, that film was a massive film and the song did very well. And sometimes you can forget the old and just throw it away and say, and you rush straight into new stuff. So I always hope, especially, you know, the past the mic, most people love the fact that all these people are singing their old big hits. They didn't want new stuff. They wanted to hear their old. It's like, oh yeah, we remember that. Unfortunately, a lot of artists are quick to get rid of what made them and sort of let's do some new stuff, which is very different from where we were. So as I said, I don't want to keep you in a time vault and say just be doing old stuff. But I think after this long period of time, it might be a good way to reintroduce us where you reinterpret some of your bigger hits that we hadn't heard, and then we just say, okay, yep, we're ready for you guys again and stuff.
But heavy, man.
Yeah, but you know, I really appreciate, you know, the fact that I can get, you know, as a 4 out of 5 of you today. I really appreciate just hearing, you know, at least getting the audience to get a sense of where you guys have been, where you guys are going through. It's you know, I think if you had any sort of message, again, the 4 of you can all say one thing about to the fans, you know, what to expect, and music wise and tour wise. It'd be great just to get the 4 of you just to give us a few things.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy Nitty Green. Looking into our future, man, I promise you that what you will receive from the Lean On Me boys, you're going to receive music, man, that we believe in our hearts that is good. And you can check our track record, man. If you go back and just listen to the stuff that we've put out, it's been good music. You're going to get the best music that we possibly can give you on today. And I promise you that we will be true to ourselves and to you and give you something that you can use along the way. So stay tuned. Go ahead. Anybody else? Go ahead, because I'm hyped right now. I'm trying to calm down. Go ahead.
I promise you, as Michael say, 100%, 100,000%. We're gonna make sure you get the best music that you can. Trust me, it's gonna be packed full of vocals. I mean, riff. Just think about the word riff. Riff is known for having these crazy vocals. So we're gonna make sure that you know what it is. Flatlining everywhere we go, making sure that you enjoy yourself, singing to you, dropping you off a nice rose, just making sure you understand that we still here and we ain't going nowhere.
Well done.
Smooth.
Okay, well, definition of riff is a vibrato movement of the vocal cord.
Come on.
Which I can guarantee you that all 5 of us have that definition. So you can guarantee, we can guarantee that what you hear, you're gonna love. Why? Because we're gonna love it. And we know we're not gonna put nothing out there that's gonna not represent where we come from and who we are.
Come on with it, Smooth. Yeah.
Stop that, chill.
Top that, chill.
Yo, unmute yourself, baby.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Unmute yourself.
He's scared. He don't want to unmute himself. He can't follow behind that.
Y'all can hear me?
We got you.
Okay. So first I would like to say thank you to all the fans that's been riding with us for 30 years. We appreciate all the love. We appreciate all the dedication, that you've given Riff throughout our music careers. And we thank you, and we ask that you continue to just be with us as we continue to give you all the great music that's about to happen in the future. And we ask that whatever you do, when we do present our new music to you, we just ask that you just stay loyal, call your radio stations, get them to support what real R&B has been missing. I want to say for the last 10, 15 years, we need it. We need to bring back love in our homes. We need to start loving our ladies, our daughters, because what's happening now, women being degraded, to me, it's not acceptable. And I don't know how, some of these fans, they accept it, being called out of their names. But we're not going to be about that life. We're going to be about what life should be about, and that's love. And that's what we want to continue to give you. And we ask that you support us throughout the rest of our journey, them Lean On Me boys. And we're going to do our job to do what we got to do to make sure that you're happy. Yeah. God bless you, and we wish you the best. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. You did all right, Joe. You did all right.
Well, I do. Yeah, I definitely want to thank you guys for coming on. And it's when talking to you guys, you start remembering, wow, you guys did this, you guys did that, and stuff. Lots of big hits and stuff. And I do hope as a fan that we do get in some ways a reinterpretation of some of your biggest hits as you're putting out some new stuff, and as a way of just teasing us with, like, if you've forgotten us, let's I want to remind you what we used to do while we get ready for what we're going to be doing and stuff.
You know what? Can I say something? Because like you bring up the old stuff and making it new, and I'm sitting there, I'm not trying to disrespect the States. I love the States and everything. But when we were on tour, right? Like, this is our first time going out. We was with Nnamdi.
We have less than a minute.
Okay, all right. Okay, so what we do is when we come on stage, we doing our thing. We working hard. But when we came overseas, it was like, like they already knew us. So I know for a fact that you guys would appreciate it when we bring back, the old stuff and make it fresh. I definitely know that because you guys appreciate great music. Not saying we don't, But I'm just saying, y'all do just a little more.
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah. No, but I think, as I said, you guys, you probably would see Chance in them. They've done a new version of No Diggity, which some of the R&B fans may not like, but it's like pretty much, remember, it's just getting the buzz out there. But in my head, I can imagine you guys doing, Adele has someone like me, piano. You guys have the vocal talent to pull up a song like that, just with a piano, someone playing a piano, and just doing, keeping in the lane where you're strong as ass, which is your vocals. So Adele, someone like me, just vocally, with just a piano, sets you guys apart. But anyway, I would be interested to see what you guys are going to bring. I appreciate your time. I know this is going to cut off soon, but thanks, Elise, for setting this up. And I definitely will keep in touch. And when the music comes out, we'll have to do this again as well.
Oh, definitely. No, listen. I just want to say this. Thank you for putting that bug in the ear, because we do have about 5 hits that we can sit down at the piano and just record.
Yeah.
And just
thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly, to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come. But thanks a lot for watching.